Good morning, afternoon, or good night, everybody. Welcome to the clock stretch video today. This is the first video in the segment of stretching. So, to get started, what we're going to target first off is I want to make sure everybody's doing their posture properly. I want you guys to focus on first and foremost your toes. Your second toe on your foot on both feet are pointing forward as you're standing next to the wall. You'll notice as I hop into the video here in a second, I'm checking and gauging my feet first, and then I'm stacking my body accordingly to that. So as we get into the video here, you'll see I'm looking at my feet, checking to make sure the toes are straight, and then as we go up from there, you get a little bit of a bend in the knees. You place your palm face down, thumb down, flat against the wall. Wrist to elbow is articulating against the wall. Bring your opposite arm up, fingers forward, act like you're Spider-Man here. And we're going to bring that arm straight up along the wall, roughly about the time that you get up to that salute posture right there. You want to make sure you're starting to Spider-Man crawl up the wall with your fingers. So you're pulling your shoulder up out of the joint, or you're stretching the shoulder up out of the joint, away, upwards, and back at the same time. So I'm using my fingers to crawl back up the wall. So I'm crawling up out of the joint and down around in a clockwise fashion with the right arm here. And again, the front arm is literally just for balance, to keep you from collapsing into the wall. If you notice, my core about here it's a little inwards towards the wall, a little more than it should be. It was pretty darn tight as I was going through this stretch here too. So I want to make sure you guys are aware that that's a little off, as I didn't have the mirror that I needed to make sure that my posture was going super straight with this one. But as you're going down, you want to work your arm all the way down very slowly. The idea of the stretch, as you see here, is we're switching sides with feet. Where we started with the foot closest to the wall behind us, and then as we get past the noon timestamp on the wall there, you swap your feet forward as to decrease low back tension in the stretch, and we just continue going down. We continue going down in that clockwise fashion, always pulling back and away from the joint and down around in that circular pattern there too. The muscles that we're targeting here are going to be the pec, forearm, bicep, and back behind the shoulder blade even. Is some really good stuff as we get back into this posture here too. You'll see that my hands turn a little red there. That is perfect. That's okay. That's normal, as we're increasing a ridiculous amount of circulation through this stretch too. And it can be pretty intense. And you'll see in the video on the left of the forward motion how my elbow's popping up a little bit off of the wall. That's because of the restriction, how tight it is. You want to try to focus on getting everything from the wrist, the elbow to shoulder, flat up against the wall. And then after you reach that full articulation around that circle, we'll go back up. Now, this process can take a lot longer than what I'm making it seem like it's going to take. A lot of people will not have the range of motion to get through this this full range of motion at all, even past this point, where we're directly behind us with that shoulder flat on the wall like I'm doing there. And that's just because everybody's different. Everybody's got a restricted amount of range of motion, usually. And over time, you will be able to get to this point, unless you've had some sort of reconstructive surgery, shoulder replacement, something crazy like that, elbow reconstructive surgery, things like that, to where there is going to be a significant amount of range of motion decrease. But regardless, even if you've had those surgeries, those circumstances, this stretch will be able to help you regain flexibility and range of motion that you previously did not have as you were progressing through this stretch carefully. Now, as I'm going back through here, I didn't mention this in the video as I was recording it, but if you ever need to bail out of the stretch, what you're going to want to do is go back through the range of motion, reverse it like you just saw here as you go all the way back down, and you'll want to gradually take that arm back through that range of motion to get you out of the point of tension, then back up off the wall. You'll see here I'm showing some of the circulation difference there. And then we swap around to do the opposite side too. So you always want to stretch yourself symmetrically. I find that if you don't, you end up having a crazy purse hike. One shoulder is always more farther back than the other with this stretch too. And this way you can also see what it's like, what my shoulders are doing from behind as well over in this image off to the left. And as we're going backwards with that same visual representation of the stretch here too. So as we progress forward with this is it's very important that you take your time with the stretch. You ease yourself through the process of it. You don't try to force the stretch onto yourself more than what you're able to handle. Utilize the pain scale. Utilize that breathing exercise that we taught you guys up above as well, so you can pace yourself. You're not pushing yourself to the point to where you break and you don't want to do the stretch anymore. That's important with this circumstance too, because with how intense these stretches are, even with how basic they may seem, you want to make sure that you are keeping yourself within the psychological area, that you're not wanting to tap out, you're not breaking yourself, but you're pushing yourself through to get the results you want with the range of motion and flexibility increase. This stretch right here, it takes me probably, I think the total video length on here is just over 7 minutes long, and the process of the stretch is insanely quick. You can speed it up, you can slow it down. I do recommend taking your time with it, and then after each time, wiggle it out, shake it out, get the circulation back to your hands and your arms, and that way you're getting that circulation back through there, moving things around. Thank you guys for watching, and let's jump to the next.